In Hollywood movies, it is usually quite easy to tell if a woman's water's broke. In reality, though, it's not always that obvious.
So in this video, we are going to discuss the most important water breaking signs to help you understand the difference between your water's breaking, pee and discharge.
Yes, and then we're also going to show you how you can check with a simple test if your waters did indeed break.
Right.
We are Nathalie and Matthias, and we love helping mummies and their babies naturally and science-based.
For more videos on pregnancy and baby related topics, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell if you like. Okay, so during your pregnancy, your baby is surrounded by a bag full of so-called amniotic fluid, which protects your baby from infections. Eventually, though, that sac will rupture, which is referred to as your waters are breaking.
Yes, in most cases, this will happen while a woman is in labor already. However, in about 8 to 10% of all cases, it will happen even before a woman goes into labor. If that happens for you, and if you're not sure if your waters just broke or if it's only just pee or vaginal discharge, then you basically have to keep an eye on two things: odor and color.
Exactly. If it was urine, then it would have that acidic smell that is so typical for urine and which is really unique in that sense. However, amniotic fluid, which again is what you would leak if your waters did break, is very different. So the first distinct sign that your waters broke is that the liquid that you're leaking does not really smell. And if it did, it would smell sort of sweet.
Now, some may say, okay, fine, but if it's not smelly, then it could also be vaginal discharge, right? Well, true, and because of that, you also have to check its color.
Yes. If it appears to be white and a bit creamy, then it is probably vaginal discharge. Urine, on the other hand, may have many different colors, but it normally does have a color. In other words, urine is usually not clear and in most cases it will be kind of yellowish, right?
Yeah. However, if your waters break, then you would normally observe a liquid that appears to be clear or at least much paler than urine or vaginal discharge. So if you're leaking a liquid that has a clear or almost clear color, then it could be another sign that your waters broke. Again, clear is what it would normally look like, unless there are incidents which change the color of the amniotic fluid that you're leaking. And the most important incidents that would change the color is when your baby has poop.
Yes. So normally babies have their first bowel movement within 12 hours after they are born. Those stools are called meconium and they look kind of greenish black.
Yeah.
But in about 12 to 20% of all pregnancies, the baby has that bowel movement while the baby is still inside the womb. And that would mean that the liquid that you're leaking when your waters break has a greenish or yellow-greenish color.
Yeah, when that's the case, please let your doctor know straight away, because it could indicate that there are problems, such as a poorly functioning placenta, for instance. So please do ask your doctor for advice on how to proceed.
Yeah.
Now, both the odor and the color of the liquid that you're leaking are really the most important things that you need to look at if you want to find out if your waters just broke. But what about the amount of the fluids that you're leaking? Is leaking a lot of liquid a sign that your waters broke?
Well, the amount of liquid can be a sign that your waters broke, but not necessarily. The reality is, for many women it will feel like a gush, and in that case it is likely that their waters indeed broke. But for other women it may only just be a trickle when their waters break. Therefore, the amount of liquid may not really be a distinct water breaking sign.
Yeah. Instead, what you could try is the following. If you believe that your waters broke, put on dry, clean underwear and add a panty liner. Then lie on your back, because if it is really amniotic fluid that you're leaking, then the liquid would pool in your vagina when you lie on your back.
Yes. So try to relax for about 30 minutes on your bed. Then stand up and pay close attention to what you're feeling. If you feel a larger gush, then it is likely that your waters broke.
Yeah.
If there is no gush but the pad is still wet, check again the color and odor.
Right, and finally, if you're still not sure if your waters broke, keep in mind that the most reliable way to tell if your waters broke is to ask your midwife or doctor. It's always the safer way than trying to figure out things on your own.
Right. With that said, thanks for watching. And if you have found this video helpful, please like and share our video or even leave us a comment.
Yeah, and for more useful tips and tools on pregnancy and baby related topics, make sure to subscribe to our channel and to hit the bell.